The cost of living is becoming the cost of leaving. Here in the UK, there's a war on truth. The FOI isn't working anymore. Doesn't matter who you are, requests are ignored and refusals stacked. This isn't a broken government, this is intentional silence. If we have to scrape APIs and code systems to get truth, that's a war on access, and that's a war on democracy. Let's be real, it shouldn't take a coder to find out who's deciding your future. There's polymarket and prediction platforms. They are tracking you, not warning you. Platforms like Polymarket already have markets running on the H5N1, measles, war with Russia, and pandemic policies. If hedge funds are betting on sickness, lockdowns, and death, what does that say about their priorities? Public policy isn't being guided by science anymore. It's being shaped by profit and prediction. They're not tracking outbreaks, they're tracking outcomes. And you're the variable. Then there's the war on farmers, which is a war on food sovereignty. Climate policy now includes culling livestock, taxing fertilizer, and forcing digital land reporting. Small farmers can't survive under the rules. That's consolidation disguised as sustainability. It's not about helping the planet. It's about centralizing control of food. Yeah? Wake up, people. Wake up. You lose farmers, you lose freedom. It is that simple. And that brings me nicely to my next part. Made versus care, and that equals war on the vulnerable. It's cheaper to offer assisted death than to offer end-of-life care. In some places, people are being offered MAID because they can't live with dignity. Families are being crushed emotionally and financially, forced to choose between bankruptcy and goodbyes. When dignity is a price tag, they'll offer you death on discount. The elderly, the disabled, the poor, all targeted by policy. Pension reform, care cuts, housing moves, sanctions, surveillance. The cost of living is now the cost of surviving. It's no longer a safety net, it is a trapdoor. And it's not just a cost of living crisis, it's a campaign. At the risk of being called a conspiracy theorist and a nut, to me this screams war or pandemic, but we're not meant to know. FOI is failing, the data is hidden, decisions are made without debate. If we do find anything else out, it is quickly, so quick, put over with another story and diluted down with something else that angers us. And then right now you've got Russell Brand. I wasn't going to mention Russell Brand, but I'm going to. All I am going to say is, I don't know what happened in the past. I'm not talking about the past. What I am aware of is he is talking about the war on freedom of speech in the UK. That is a big talking point of his. Huge, huge. And then there's COVID, vaccines. All of these things that he is talking about, the UK doesn't want us talking about. So of course, why, but I could be wrong. I am just saying that timing right now, with everything that's going on and the war on free speech, I am specifically talking about the war on free speech. When multiple crises stack, disease, war, poverty, food shortages, and truth becomes inaccessible, you're already in a form of war. If we wait for announcements, it's too late. If we don't demand the data, we're told stories. If we stay silent, they stay in power. This is not a drill. 2CTV and that man, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but what you said has impacted me massively. The FOI access and trying to get information is impossible. For me to try and get the data on my tri-county area, I have had to learn APIs and data scraping and automation and AI, things that my mental health cannot usually cope with. But all I want to prove is that my friends are not choosing to die. They're not choosing addiction over their kids or over their life. It's because my county is choosing to not put money into that area. My county is in debt and choosing that we are worth the cost. We're worth the cost of just not even follow-on care, not even trauma-informed care, none of that. But they can feel trauma, and if a patient decides as an incident, who knows what causes that incident, they will prosecute a patient, even read out a victim impact statement, and be in the line for compo. But ask them to apologise for something that they've done. Ask them to write their report from a trauma-informed point of view, and they'll admit there isn't any, because it's much better to say that these women all have behaviour problems. These women are not committing, but these women are what are dying, and I am not prepared to watch my friends die anymore and sit silent. I am Denise Burns. I am sober, and I am never going to give them the opportunity for me to take any of this out on myself again. There's a war on free speech. There's a war on access to data. There's a war on the vulnerable. And if people don't wake up now, it is going to be too late. It is already too late for a lot of things. We need to be asking questions and expecting answers. That's the part. We can ask, but ain't nobody got the answers unless you learn APIs and AIs. And who knows how to do that? I do, but not many other people do. And it is not fair to be expecting people to have to turn into coders just to get access to data. It is wrong. Wrong. That's what the whole what do they know process for, the FOI process for, the internal review process for, is all to assist the person making the FOI request in getting the access to the information they need, or if they're not able to, they're supposed to assist in trying to find another way for that person to get the information, be it by clarifying requests or by going elsewhere, but they're meant to assist, not just pull in, Article 12 or Section 12 or whatever it is that says that they're allowed to call costs and time as a reason to not answer your request. And not having things in reportable formats when there are people dying is wrong. And if I see one more comment saying that an addict chooses to harm themselves when addiction is the easiest thing to solve, I'm going to blow my nut. So yeah, like, follow, I don't really care. I'm getting it off my chest and this makes me feel better. So have a nice night.